Hi, on this video we are going to learn how to complete a application form for distributor of medical devices. To go through this process, we are going to need internet, we're going to need the classification guidelines, we are going to need a registration membership with the GMD and agency website, and the details of the original equipment manufacturer, which is the OEM, and any licenses for third parties, and other relevant information we'll mention as we go. So to get the application form, you will go to internet and search SAHPRA on Google or whatever browser that is being used. Click on operational units, click on medical devices, click on forms, click on the license application to import, distribute, or export medical devices, and download the latest version, which you can select where you want to save it. Once the form is downloaded, you can open the form. The form is locked for any formatting, so you will not be able to perform any format activities. You'll be able to complete where information is required. So on the form, you have multiple tabs. We're starting with the introduction and guidance for how to complete the form. On the general information, under distributor name, you complete the name of the company that is importing medical devices. And then we'll move to the name of the authorized representative. This is as appointed by the company or the establishment. So starting with the surname, say for argument's sake, the title is Ms. A. Jones, and you'll complete that information, complete the contact details as well. And then distributor business name, that information will be completed as per the company registration details. If there's any licenses that have been issued under the Medicine Act or the Hazardous Substances Act, that information can be indicated here. If there isn't, the applicant can indicate no. This is a drop-down arrow. If they indicate yes, then they would need to attach those licenses as part of the submission pack. And then the physical address that is to be reflected on the license also is mandatory. You can complete please make sure that the section is completed in full. And is completed correctly, so that we do not capture information that is incorrect. And then the license holder contact, this is a person other than the authorized representative and is as appointed by the company. So I will skip over quickly to the product list, starting with the non-IVD medical devices which are imported into the country, which is South Africa. For this, you will need to know the original equipment manufacturer. You will need to know the GMDN code. GMDN is the Global Medical Device Nomenclature. You will need the descriptor, and you will need the name or group or family of the medical device and the risk classification. If the device is a Class C or Class D, then you will need to indicate the physical address of the international manufacturer, which is the registration details from any of these jurisdictions as recognized by SAHPRA. So to get the classification and the GMDN, you'll go to internet. The website is gmdnagency.org. If you're not a member, you can register. If you're already a member, you can sign in. Once signed in, you can just click on terms and click search. You'll need these details to complete the application form on the product list. And then to get the details of the classification of the product, you'll go to the medical device landing page, click on guidelines, and click on the guideline for classification of medical devices and IVDs. So these guidelines will have different rules and classifications based on the intended use of the product. So this will assist in guidance to obtain the local risk classification of the product that is being imported. Okay, so starting with the product list, let's say for argument's sake, the product being imported in this case is an examination glove, and let's say the original equipment manufacturer. I'll use the same company that I used for example's sake, and then the GMD and code. You'll go here and you'll search examination glove. Okay, and click on details. This is the GMDN code, and this is the GMDN descriptor, and this is the full description to understand what the product is being used for. So you copy the GMDN descriptor, GMDN code, and the descriptor, and then the name or group or family of the medical device. Here you can put the commercial product name or the generic name. So for example, you can put nitrile glove, or if there is a commercial product name, you can indicate. And then using the classification guideline, find out what the risk classification of the glove is based on its intended use. And let's say I will select class A for the purpose of this demonstration. If it's a class A product, then there won't be a need for the international manufacturer's physical address and the registration details. So this is how you would complete the list on the product list on 4.1. On 4.2 is IVD medical devices imported into South Africa. This is the in vitro diagnostics. You can look up the definition of an in vitro diagnostic on the internet just to understand what it means, so that there's no mix up where non-IVDs are being listed on this section. So on here, say for example, we have a HIV test kit. So we have an HIV test kit being imported from the same company. And then to get the GMD and code, we'll go back to the search HIV, and then select the descriptor that best suits the device based on its intended use. I'm looking for the kit. Okay, let me say, for example, this one, just to save time. The GMDN descriptor is displayed there, and then the GMDN code is also indicated. And then on here, then I would indicate the commercial product name or the generic product name. And let's say for argument's sake, the product is a class D in vitro diagnostic, then I would need to indicate the physical address of the international manufacturer and their registration details with any of these jurisdictions that are recognized. And for HIV, then the WHO pre-qualification details will also need to be provided on this listing. So moving to the storage site information, if the applicant is using a third-party storage, please make sure that you provide the license number, not and the license, the actual license of the storage site, so that it can be confirmed that this is a licensed storage site. And then you can indicate the site name if the storage site and is at the location where the business is, as indicated on section 2.2. You can indicate that information, and there are questions that relate to the storage which can be completed based on what is being performed at the site, the facilities that are on the site, and the equipments that are on the site, and other activities that don't relate to medical devices as well. And then there's imports and export. Because the applicant has already listed that they are importing medical devices, then they will indicate here that they are importing medical devices and are medical devices being exported by the applicant. Then they will indicate here, as if they indicate yes, then they will need to complete section 6. And if they are not being exporting product, then they will indicate no. So for this case, I will indicate yes, and then I'll move then to section 6 to provide details of the products being exported. So if I'm exporting the same products that I have listed on section 4, then to save time, I can just copy the same products and paste them on section 6. Okay, the information is pasted. So for example, I'm exporting to Zambia, then I will just indicate Zambia, then type yes. And then under 6.2, if it's the same, then the information can also be, the product that have been listed on section 4.2 can also be added on there. So once the list for export has been completed, then we move to activities. Activities summarizes the activities, the products categories that have been listed and other forms of activities that are being performed and other materials that are being handled at the site. So on 4.1, it was indicated that medical devices categorized under Class A are being imported. So on 7.1, then we'll indicate that import of Class A medical devices, then all the other ones would be no. And then under IVDs, then import of Class A, there are no Class A IVDs listed, then I will indicate no, and yes for Class D IVDs. And then moving to distribution, if all products that are being imported are being distributed, then I would have Class A and Class D being distributed. And then on exports, it also relates to the product that are being exported. I've indicated export of Class A medical devices, but not Class D IVDs. So in this case, that would mean that I would then have no for everything else here. So now moving to materials handled at the site, if there's any of the medical devices being imported have any of these characteristics, then that can be indicated. If not, then the applicant can just indicate no, and then move to the next section, which is personnel. Personnel activities is also mandatory to be completed throughout. This is as appointed by the establishment. The authorized representative should be the same person that has been indicated on section 1.2. And then the other two, which is the personnel responsible for import, distribution, and export, and quality control or quality assurance. This can be as appointed also by the establishment. And then on quality management system information, this is where the company indicates the progress of the QMSs that are present in the company, and they can indicate whether they do have the accreditation or not, and the scope and the issue date if there is certification already available. And the applicant can also declare the information that has been provided and the presence of certain processes in place. And this application form will need to be converted to PDF, whether through electronically converting to PDF, initialing each page and signing by the authorized representative, or printing the different sections, signing and scanning, and a copy of the PDF that has been signed would need to be submitted. The Excel form itself does not require any signature. However, the signature is required on the PDF version. That is all for completing the license application to import distribute and export medical devices. Thank you.